What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Kevin with Optimized Essentials, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about divine masculinity and the alpha and omega male. Okay, now I personally came up with this concept when I was writing my program, Sexual Manifestation, and I was trying to figure out what it means to be a man. And in today's society, a lot of guys are talking about being alpha or wanting to become the top G, right? And I think a lot of guys are struggling with what it means to exemplify healthy masculinity. And this slide right here is actually from a video I just filmed about how to increase your masculine energy. So by the time you're watching this, it should be up if you want to dive a little bit deeper in terms of characteristics, traits, how to improve your masculinity, how to develop your masculine energy. So check that video out when it's out. But in today's video, I want to talk about the new level of male that's emerging, right? And I'm not making this up because there's like people talking about the Sigma male, right? And all this other different version of an alpha male. The divine masculine man is an archetype that has been around for ages, okay? The top three right here, Jeff Bezos, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Arnold, right? I think they're on their way to becoming divine masculine men, but divine masculinity is exemplified by these four down here. Jesus Christ, if he was real, Gandhi, for sure, Nelson Mandela, for sure, Martin Luther King, for sure. These guys were the alpha and the omega, meaning they were men of God, right? What do they say God is? God is the alpha and the omega. It's the beginning and the end. Well, when I came up with this concept, I was trying to figure out what exactly do men exhibit, these men, these characteristics, these traits, and I slowly distilled it down, okay? And then the ironic thing was, I was reading an article online from this guy called Paul Rodney Turner, so let's check out this article. This article, he talks about his new book being worked on, The Alpha and the Omega Male, okay? The Alpha Omega Male. Now, to be fair, the concept, he titled this concept, or at least his book is coming out, The Alpha Omega Male. I came up with the idea of divine masculinity, which in my program I wrote in 2020. You can check it out if you want, Sexual Manifestation. I might even post the PDF so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. I talk about unlocking the divine, or like the divine masculine mirror, unlocking the alpha gene, right? Because a lot of guys want to become alpha, but they don't understand what it means to be alpha. So I'm going to be reading you his article, and then I'm going to be reading something I wrote recently on my YouTube page so that you have a clear path to unlocking your alpha gene or becoming a divine masculine man, okay? So I'm going to read you his first, and then I'm going to read you mine. So do your best to focus. It's powerful stuff, I promise. It's super potent knowledge. So take a deep breath, go out for a walk, focus, get to the end of the video. Let's do it. Right here. So you want to be a warrior. We're the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no great war, no great depression. Our great war is a spiritual war. Tyler Durden Fight Club, written by Chuck Palahniuk. I'm not even trying to pronounce his words. So Palahniuk. Palahniuk's profound words could not be more pertinent in a world where most men struggle for true purpose, a world that has the audacity to question the very nature and importance of masculinity. Indeed, what we have today is a spiritual war, with men struggling to find purpose, and in this book, I aim to address this challenge to masculinity with a spiritual perspective. Now, before I continue, the fact that he came up with this idea, the alpha omega male, and I came up with the idea of divine masculinity around, I would assume around the same time, like around this period of time. It's because those thoughts, those ideas are in the ether. Okay, it's if you believe in law of attraction, all that, it's in the ether. And whoever's attuned to it on a frequency, on that level of vibration, will draw in those thoughts, those ideas. So I love that this guy is writing a book on this. If you're new to martial arts or a veteran of combat sports, or are just curious about how you can bring out the alpha male within you, waiting to roar with confidence, I can assure you this book will provide you the answers, and maybe even more than you expect. Since the dawn of time, men have an unspoken rule that the man with the most testosterone or bravado should be the one that leads the pack. Powerful. This same instinct is there in the animal kingdom, so we can assume that it's part of natural order of things. Okay? And he'll break it down a little bit more, so I can't wait to get into this. However, determining that male with the highest leadership qualities has laid the groundwork for conflict in both the human and animal kingdoms of the world, where we witness a classic one-on-one fight to determine that answer, right? The modern versions of this conflict are most notably found in MMA, boxing, and all kinds of one-on-one competition, including passive sports such as billboards and ping pong. Billiards and ping pong. These table sports might seem passive, but you can be sure there is a sizing up period before the competition that influences the eventual outcome. Meaning they'll size them up before they actually play. And in regards to billiards, I talk about this pre-game intimidation in my other book, The Yoga of Pool, which I will quote here, spiritedness. This right here is so powerful. So buckle up, motherfuckers. Breathe and focus. Listen to these words. Webster defines the word spirit as energy, vivacity, which I haven't heard of before, but I think I know what he's talking about. Vivacity, ardor, enthusiasm, courage, etc. While the term spirited is defined as animated, full of life and vigor, lively, etc. The word spirit expresses the essence of universal power and is present in the man as the core of his being, his inner strength, and his power as a soul. Spiritedness does not mean the quality of being ethereal, spiritual, or otherworldly. It merely denotes a state of being animated or possessed of vigor. This vigor comes from the very core of one's being, the I am region of the plane of consciousness. The quality of spiritedness is manifested in the different degrees among men and animals. It is elementary, primitive idiom of life, and it is never dependent upon culture, refinement, or education. Its development is a consequence of one's ability to recognize one power within. And the more you can develop spiritedness, the better chance you'll have at winning in all areas of your life. What to speak of billiards? So before we go into this, I want to talk about what he means by spiritedness, okay? They say it's not the fight. No, it's not the dog within the fight, right? It's not the dog in the fight. It's the fight that's within the dog, right? So you can have two dogs, one smaller one, one big one, but the small one is like, right? Or the dog one's like, oh, fuck, don't fuck with that dog, you know, right? It's the spiritedness within the man, right? Which is why they talk about, what he was talking about up here. Where is it? About the unspoken rule, right? Men have an unspoken rule that the man with the most testosterone or bravado, basically the most life force, the most oomph within the body, right, will be the leader of the pack. Now, shameless plug, which is why I always talk about nofap and semen retention, because when you're doing nofap and semen retention, what are you doing? You are engaging in preserving your life force, the spirit within your body, so that you have more spiritedness, right? In the Chinese tradition, they talk about Jing, Qi, and Shen. Jing is like semen. It's like the densest form of energy within your body. When you cultivate your Jing, you cultivate your Qi, you'll have a brighter burning spirit. So when you do nofap and semen retention and sexual transmutation, you will have literally alpha energy because there is more life force within your body. So check out the links down below if you're interested in sexual transmutation, but I want to finish the rest of this article. Within the animal kingdom, we see how the qualities of spiritedness plays into determining who will be the alpha male. For example, if you put two male baboons in the same cage, rather than launch into an attack on one another, they will open their mouths to expose all their teeth and then proceed to blow at each other. But one of them will blow with a hint of fear that immediately marks him as the inferior male, and the fight is over, in quotations. It is the same with big cats. Put a dozen lions together, and they also, usually without a single strike, soon discover which one of them possesses the nerve of the leader. Powerful. After that, he takes the choice of the females. He becomes the leader of the pride. And it is not always the baboon with the fiercest teeth, nor the biggest lion that asserts his dominion by winning a physical fight. It is still something far subtler than the physical, the animal's self-esteem or its spiritedness. Again, Oh, right here. He talks about it right here. And so it is with men. It is not the dog in the fight. Oh, he says it too. But the fight within the dog that endears. The spiritedness or nerve or metal of a man is always the deciding factor. There may be no feeling of antagonism between you and your opponent, but there will be an inward recognition on both sides that one of you is superior. This superiority does not depend on physical strength, intellectual prowess, social status, or skill set, but upon the expression and recognition of one's own inner power or spiritedness. Let's read the rest of this. We often hear of people lacking spirit or having had their spirit broken, etc. The term is used in the sense of metal. A horse with a bigger heart will always run a game or race and will be often outdistance and outcardio a horse having a greater physical characteristics but less spirit or heart. Other horses become discouraged and allow themselves to be beaten by higher spirited horses, even though they may be superior in physical specimens. This spiritedness or valor of an individual is vital quality of success. Still, it can only be developed and strengthened once you become firmly established in knowing your higher self. Never allow someone else to define who you are. Believe in yourself and know that you are much more than the world sees externally, okay? Now, before I go into what it means to be a warrior, I want to recap on that, and I might actually stop there because I don't think it has anything to do with becoming an alpha male, right? So essentially what he says is like, amongst men, right? Let's say we bring guys into the room. Instantly we know who amongst us is the superior man, okay? I've talked about this in the past. Our nervous system, our body, it's the wisdom of our cells. It's highly intellectual, okay? It knows on a deep level which body carries the highest or the most calibrated nervous system. Who carries the most life force within their body? Who is the most fit to lead? Because in a survival situation, we have to set aside an ego, and we have to let the man who's the most competent to be the leader, to be in charge, okay? And we know this to be the case, again, right? He talked about like testosterone and bravado and spiritedness. If you are going into a cage fight with another guy and that guy has worked on himself more than you have, he's trained longer than you have, he has more confidence, more life force, more vigor, more vitality, more spiritedness, especially if he's doing semen retention, and you come up to him, it's like a teenager trying to fight an adult. But it could be flipped. If the teenager is training for years and he has a lot of strength and bravado, your bodies, our bodies, right, on a contrast will inherently know who is a superior man. And automatically you will develop inferiority, or, you'll rank yourselves accordingly. And then my mentor, Paul Chek, talked about, there was like a research study or like an experiment where they put 5 of the most baddest top alpha males within the Navy or within like the military. It was like the top dogs within certain ranks. They put 5 alpha males together, like literally the baddest top ranked dudes. And even them amongst themselves ranked themselves on a subconscious level. They automatically oriented themselves to who would lead and who's the top dog. 5 alpha males, right? So what differentiates one man behind the next, okay? And that's where I want to read you my stuff, and then we'll call it a wrap, okay? This is what I wrote recently. Being alpha comes from the energy/frequency you carry. Your energy/frequency gets molded via the experiences you have in life. The more growth and experience demands from you, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, the stronger your energy and frequency will become. I'll go even further to say that certain experiences of environments will signal your genes via epigenetics to exhibit alpha characteristics and traits. The easiest way is to think about, becoming a father, okay? That'll change you very quick. And if you don't believe me, just look at Jeff Bezos in the beginning versus now. The Rock when he was wrestling versus now. Patrick Bet-David and Andrew Tate or any other CEO or influencer you see online when they first start off versus what they look like now after they made it. Once they've made it and are in a position of superiority, their facial structure, their physiology, their gene expressions start to turn on accordingly. The real path to becoming alpha is to simply put yourself through experiences that demand growth in every area of your life, i.e., personally, professionally, spiritually, etc. Once you've grown and maxed out on your potential, there's no choice but to be recognized as alpha, because alpha is simply the best and highest version of yourself. The highest version of alpha is simply self-mastery, okay? Because in a room full of alpha males, only the individual who's achieved the most or is most competent in that respective field, i.e. the highest level of self-mastery, will truly be recognized as the alpha. Just think of NFL, Tom Brady, right? He's not the biggest, baddest dude, but he's the dude that put in the most work, and he eventually became the top dog, the top G, right? Whatever position he's in, the quarterback, I think, right? This dude is the top G within the team because he's put in 20, 30 years relentlessly. Or the NBA player, the best player, UFC fighter, the MMA fighter, boxing, right? Whoever's the best is going to be recognized as the alpha. But they're all alphas with their own respective lives because they had put in the work of improving themselves mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, etc. The easiest way to understand and visualize this on a deeper level is Goku evolving into Super Saiyan. For any of you guys who've watched Dragon Ball Z, you know Goku, this little boy, when he gets angry and he charges up his, I think, as S cells, his life force. Again, no fat consumer retention is your hidden key to getting into the alpha energy. He turned into Super Saiyan. So I put here, becoming Super Saiyan or turning on the alpha gene is within all of us, but it needs to be cultivated through and developed through life experiences. And at the end, I put on get on no fap, semen retention, sexual transmutation, and self-mastery. Because ultimately, I believe that within all of us, we have the alpha gene or the divine masculinity. We just need to grow into that, like a tree blossoming to its full capacity, like a plant blossoming to its full capacity, like a flower blossoming to its fullest capacity, right? The pinnacle of man, or the pinnacle of your DNA, right? Your junk DNA encoded within it is the power, the potential to become alpha, right? But I don't like that term because it's so stigmatized, right? Like, look at Tom Brady. He may not necessarily be your classical alpha male. Look at who these people that we are referencing. So if you want, by the way, if you want to read the rest of this article about what it means to be a warrior, go read that. I'm not going to read that because I don't think it has everything I wanted to say already. I've said. But look at this slide right here, okay? Jesus Christ, Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, right? Do they fit into your stereotypical alpha males? Right? The Rock does. We think of The Rock, he's definitely an alpha. We think of Arnold when he was coming up, definitely an alpha, right? Right here, Jeff Bezos, DNG, dork, nerd, and geek, becoming an alpha male of Amazon. How can you deny him as an alpha now? But what I'm trying to say here is it's one step above. Alpha is simply the best and highest version of yourself. If you are in a confrontation between another man and you cowered out, you back out, or you let another man walk all over you, you know, let another man take your woman, you let a woman cheat on you, you are not acting as your best self. i.e., you are not the alpha in this situation. Your best and highest version of yourself will speak up when the boundaries are being crossed, will stand up for what they believe in, will relentlessly drive after their goal, their mission, their vision in life. They will seek to become the best version of themselves to activate their fullest potential. Because in a room full of alpha males of equal physical talent, who will become the true top dog, top G of the group? Well, the person who has the most spirit, okay? Meaning the guy who's willing to do the most work, the guy who is willing to sharpen his tool the best, the guy who is willing to lead, who is willing to become the best version of himself amongst other people. That's why it's so important to be in a room full of masculine energy who's trying to compete against each other, because the guy who wants it more, i.e. spiritedness, as he was talking about, will be the guy who gets acknowledged as the alpha in a room full of alphas, okay? But the pinnacle of alpha, the pinnacle of man is divine masculinity, because who cares if you're the alpha of the alphas of the group? What are you doing for mankind? What are you doing to help the British Empire, as Gandhi would do it? right? He united his people, not so you'd be like, I'm the alpha male, fuck you, suck my dick, get on your knees, etc. Right? No, he's not like that. He was like, we are suffering as humans. We are suffering as an Indian race. We're being oppressed. I'm going to teach you guys nonviolence, the way to protest, the way to reclaim your power as a group. And he united the whole Indian people to fight the British Empire. Nelson Mandela, right, was in prison for 27 years or something like that, unfairly. He came out and he showed people, this is how you behave. This is how you operate. This is how you become virtuous. He transcended himself so that he could lead other people. Martin Luther King stood up for the black people, stood up for black rights. He said, black people are humans too. We have rights. So he is transcending himself to help the all of mankind, okay? So what I wanted to share with you in this video is very simple. Stop worrying about becoming alpha. Stop worrying about unlocking your, inner macho man, but just seek to become the best version of yourself in all areas of your life. Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. All of these men here have strived to improve themselves in every arena, every endeavor of their life. Look at The Rock. He's a physical specimen. Same with Arnold. I mean, even though he took steroids or probably taking steroids. Jeff Bezos, building Amazon, arguably one of the most dominant empires within the 21st century, right? Jesus implanted his seed, whether he was real or not, of Christianity into the minds of many people, that he is the Lord and Savior, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Through him, everything is possible, right? Through him, I meet the Father. Through him, I can purify my sins, cleanse my sins, baptize me, give me my heart, purify my, deeds. I will not burn in hell if I accept Jesus as my Savior. So all of these guys, right, in a way are uplifting humanity. Gandhi, again, right? His people. But how did they do this? By seeking something better, something higher, seeking God. God is the pinnacle, right? How do I bring the essence, the vibration of God, of divinity into this life? How do I mirror divine masculinity? How do I become the highest version of myself? How can I show people, after 27 years of being in prison, how to still become a loving man? How can I stand up for black people and show them, right? We are humans, not your slaves. Treat us fairly. When you start asking these questions and you don't concern yourself with being the top G and the alpha, because right now, even Andrew Tate is trying to become more virtuous, right? Trying to lead men by example. When you ask these questions and you seek to become the best version of yourself so that you can stand up for what you believe in, you can speak your mind, you can stand up for your truths, when people confront you and try to belittle you, instead of being a nice guy and shying away, you stand up to them, you fight the bully, and you let them know in a tender, aggressive way. You kill them with kindness, and you show them your aggression in the most kind and loving way possible. This is what it means to be a divine masculine man. It means to lead from the front, and it means to lead with love. It means to lead with virtue and to exemplify the pinnacle of masculinity, okay? So instead of worrying about becoming an alpha male, worry about developing yourself. Worry about becoming the highest version of yourself, okay? And the way I've like to do it is, shameless plug, NoFap and semen retention, okay? If the spiritedness within you is determined by your life force energy, your vibrational frequency, then what's within you, right? Your Jing, your masculine and drive, your essence, is determined by how much of this energy is within your body, which is why I push this so much. All of these guys contain high levels of masculine energy, okay? Really think about that. These guys are imbued with masculine energy. So that's it. If you guys want to learn about sexual transmutation, get the free course, watch the masterclass. It's 2 hours long. If you don't have trouble focusing, it's a 2-hour training that will bring you up to speed with what sexual transmutation is. I show you examples of high-level people who are on it, the benefits you'll get when you do it, and how to do it properly. Join my Facebook group, Sexual Transmutation Mastery, if you want to be surrounded by a group of like-minded individuals. If you have savage memes to post, please do so. If you want to work with me one-on-one, if you want to get coaching, book a call with me. And if you're on NoFap and semen retention and you want to master sexual transmutation, you want to learn how to transmute your sexual urges, you want to learn masculinity training protocols, you want to learn the diet protocols that will allow you to have the highest levels of hormones, have glowing skin, have radiant health, have magnetic energy. You want to learn how to program your subconscious mind. You want to learn how to tune up your chakras, release emotional trauma. Check out Sexual Manifestation. It's my life work. It's the best investment you'll make in your life. And guys, thank you for watching this video. Much blessings for you to want to become a better man. We really need it in today's society. The way to do it is through discipline, self-mastery, finding a vision, finding a higher purpose. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.